Okay, great. We're recording. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to the Heroes of the Storm PTR. We're diving in, and thank you very much to the viewers who joined in today. We're streaming this live for the first time in quite a long time. The Deathwing hype is real, and we're going to be playing some Deathwing here on Infernal Shrines. Good luck, have fun to you guys too on the enemy team. Yeah, we'll probably we'll pause at every talent here and try to read through the talents. Obviously, I did a full coverage, a full breakdown of the Deathwing talents from BlizzCon, but they have actually changed since then. They made a few adjustments, actually, and possibly to his baseline abilities as well, but I'll kind of treat this as if you've never seen Deathwing, and we'll try to break everything down, and then hopefully focus more on the gameplay as we get a bit later. So here he is, Deathwing, and he looks absolutely incredible. Got a great spray. His dance, he sort of wiggles. Can I dance this way? He does a little wiggle. His taunt is very badass as well. Okay, so these armor plates, that's his passive, which is called Aspect of Death. You're fitted with 0 armor plates. That's a lie. You actually have 4. PTR bug already. Cool. Every 25% of your health lost makes you lose a plate. And plates are only restored when Dragonflight is used, which is our mount ability. Essentially, 45-second cooldown, we can fly in the air, and we start healing in the air. That's the only way to get our plates back if we do lose them. Deathwing's also Mighty Dragon Aspect, who's permanently unstoppable and does 100% additional spell damage to heroes, but views his allies with contempt and ignores any of their friendly effects, which I think is everything. Oh, we're in this form. We can change form with the number 1 ability. Now we're in a ranged form, and we'll cover the abilities here. Our Q ability is a Dragon's Breath, which looks like this. It costs a bit of energy to cast, and then it drains energy over time and does very high damage. So by default, you have 100 energy, 10 energy to cast, 30 damage to cast per second. You can do the math yourself and work out exactly how it's going to function. Our E ability is this. It has a big old cast time. It's called Earth Shatter. We make a Fissure of Earth, which comes from both of our front paws or claws, or I don't know exactly what you call it. We'll just go with this. We'll work it out later. It's a new level 1 talent. You can see the experience globes there, by the way. But yeah, our Q ability, it's pretty cool. You know, you get 3 full seconds of channeling with the 10 energy cost. Look at this guy. Here's our W. We put this AoE explosion on the ground. It has a 1-second delay. When we cast it out, we do damage to enemies in an area. Nice damage there by her. We're very slow as Deathwing, as you can see. We're very slow indeed. We're going to breathe fire, catch Ray out. Ray just got cooked. Ray just got fucked. I can't say that word. I can. He got fucked. Noise. His experience globes. Yeah, so our E ability, Earth Shatter. Q ability, Flame Breath. And then W, point and click on the ground. Bam, does damage. It leaves this pool behind for 6 seconds, which does a little bit of damage per second. And it slows by 35% if any enemy walks through it. We can switch form back to our melee form, which is called Destroyer form. It has a 20-second cooldown to switch. This change, it keeps our Q ability the same. We still have Dragon's Breath, Roar, but it gives us new W and new E abilities. Our W is now an AoE effect. After 0.75 seconds, we flap our wings and do damage to everyone nearby. Our E ability is a half-second activate lunge. And the lunge does damage and a slow in a bite in front of him. You can kind of see that bite reflected there in this, sort of. Let's breathe fire on these guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, we're dying to Tychus. Oh, my lord, he's so strong. I'm scared. Time for us to take to the skies with Dragonflight. Now, Dragonflight, I think, is one exception. It has a 3-second cast time, as you can see, and now we're in the air. We can land wherever we want. This does get interrupted by taking damage. Or if you deal damage as well, I believe. Okay, talents. We'll cover the talents maybe in a bit of a lull in the game. I wanted to cover all his basic abilities first. We kind of got everything, except for his heroic, Cataclysm, which did start on, I think, a 250 or 60-second cooldown. We took Dragon Soul. It's increasing Incinerate and Lava Burst damage. Incinerate. So our W abilities are healing us for 75% and 150. Let's improve them even more here. We do more damage. Sure, let's go with that. That sounds good to me. Destroyer form. Let's land in World Breaker form right here. Yeah. You can't cast your abilities for a while after you land, unfortunately. And you can see we're taking a ton of damage from that Tychus. He's actually just melting us down, unfortunately. Very difficult time going in. Or possibly going in on that. They will die, though. Oh, we didn't get the camp. That's a bit of a bummer. We can finish off the camp here, though. The objective not going our way yet, either. Deathwing is very interesting. We finally got Cataclysm. We're ready to use it. But will we, in fact, use it? I don't know. We're very low on life, which makes me rather scared to potentially give this a go. This should be a good Fire Breath opportunity if we don't die in the meantime to the Leoric. Probably could have dived us and killed us. Luckily, he was feeling merciful. We're going to back up. We're going to fly in the sky. We're going to look to land behind the enemy team and Cataclysm over them. Let's give it a go. I think we'll land in Destroyer form this time and try to do as much damage as possible. We'll see. Okay, I'm just going to grab something here. Get Spell Armor. Sure, let's go with that. Okay, let's quick cast this down. Oh, hi. Hi there, Ray. Gonna Cataclysm. This is our heroic ability. Leaves fire on the ground. It's very cool. Let's change form. Oh, we actually might just die. That's got a big cast time on it. Oh, the wind-ups are big. Cancel that, please. He's got quite long cast times, Deathwing. That's his weakness. Alright, so we're back in ranged form. That was very cool, though, that Cataclysm. And now it's got a much shorter cooldown. It's a 90-second cooldown. Does impact damage after 2 seconds. And then more damage like that. Pretty cool. We'll cover the talents at the end. I don't think I'm going to get to cover them all properly. I'll just try to show you guys the stuff that I actually took. They've really counterpicked us here, and you can see that we're struggling to be relevant this game. It's not that easy to be relevant. Now, we can't get stunned by the Immortal, so at least that's useful. We will heal a bit from that. I think we really want to fly up in the air, though. So let's fly up with our Dragonflight and maybe look to punish these guys if they should overstay. So I took Death Drop here. Hitting an enemy hero with our landing damage reduces their spell armor, and it reduces my ability cooldowns by 2 seconds, which means that we can cast our abilities 1 second after we land, as opposed to the default 3 seconds. So there you go. These are all sort of spell type things. Essentially is what's going on there. So we do want to hit an enemy hero if possible. We'll see. We can land anywhere in vision. The world is our oyster. It's just a 10-second cooldown when you fly up in order to be able to do it. So we can go wherever we want. Ever we want. Enemy team's all here. Isn't that fun? We have no thing in middle, so that becomes a little scary perhaps. Oh lord, he coming. We didn't manage to hit an enemy hero, unfortunately. Fire Breath, doing nice damage. They're also doing nice damage to me, though. We're going to try Peace Out with Cataclysm, which sucks to use to run away, but I don't feel like we have much of a choice here, unfortunately. That Leoric's trying to get me. What a big jerk. We're going to breathe fire on him, and he will go down. This has been a tough game so far. Let's check out our... Can we Hearthstone? I think we can Hearthstone and heal by Hearthstoning. Let's find out. I'm not sure, actually. Burned beneath my shadow. When an enemy fort or keep is destroyed, the cooldown of Cataclysm is reset, and the periodic damage increased by 150%, which is huge. We also have Bellowing Roar, 60-second cooldown. We do not heal. We do not heal when we go back to base. Jesus, that's kind of rough, actually. Bellowing Roar, 60 seconds. 1 second cast time. You do a Mighty Roar, doing a minuscule bit of damage, and fearing nearby heroes for 2 seconds. Now, this was a very small cast radius, so I wasn't a big fan of it when it was there before. But who knows? Maybe it's good now. Oh, she's gone to dragon form, too. Everyone's a dragon. What do you know? I believe I can maybe jump out of that. Well, kind of. I'm still super dead, though. Oh, no. Taken out. We tried, team. We didn't have our heroic, and they punished us very nicely. Luckily, Illidan is getting a great split push, whereas the entire enemy team has come down to join the fun over here. Famo's almost going to get a kill. He's so close to killing the Tracer, but Alexstrasza will keep him alive. A for effort by the team. Good job. Luckily, we should be getting a good push here to sort of counteract that, so we don't feel too bad. No one died, no, but it was damn close. I think now, landing as Deathwing, we probably want to use our flight ability. We are getting some AoE damage from our Heat Wave. When we hit an enemy with Incinerate, we do damage for the next few seconds, which is our W ability, so that's kind of cool. We'll be looking to dive in on these guys, but again, we need to be careful not to dive in too hard and get ourselves killed, which is a bit awkward if that happens. Yeah, the Tychus is nasty. The bigger they are, that's disgusting. It's kind of unfair, to be honest. Like, what are we supposed to do against that? Look at that. He does so much damage, dude. It's actually sick. It goes right through our armor plates, you know? It's disgusting. Good stun on her. And that's decent damage there on Ray, which is definitely what we want to see. We're going to Cataclysm in on this. This should do big damage. The periodic damage really enhanced here, which is great. Oh, you can see it just melt through the enemy team. Great stun there. Good fire breath. Get the slow down as well. Maybe lock him down. And nice. Big fight for us. Vengeance feels good. I'm going to lose my armor plate, though, which I do not want to do. We're good. We're good. Let's switch to our other form here, seeing as we want to do a bit more AoE. Onslaught does a slow, cool, basic attacks. Nah. Look at this jerk. Just gonna breathe fire on him till he dies. Kind of dies. Regen globes do heal you, as you can see, though they do not regenerate your armor plates. I'm actually gonna fly up in the sky at this point. I guess we'll reduce Earth Shatter cost. So that is our stun ability, the kind of Sundering-esque thing. This actually halves the cooldown and lowers the energy cost by 10. It's pretty damn good. We're going to regen our health, and then we're going to land. Don't have Cataclysm, but we'll get it back. I'm going to land on this, because I'm a baller. Nice. He's lasering me down. What a rude. I'm going to grab this. And again, we can now sort of spam out these stuns, which is great, which locks down the Tychus maybe in our Dragon's Breath. I was slightly to the side. Alexstrasza will just about save him, but it's a damn close thing. Illidan trying to hunt them down. I like the aggression. I like it a lot. Gonna try zone them out. This stun might hit her. Not quite, but we get the Fire Breath in on him. Our ability did reset here. This is going to do big damage. Actually, it's really slow, so it's not going to do any damage whatsoever. But the Fort Death did reset our ability, which is awesome. And again, we're going to be spamming out our E ability here, doing lots of stuns. Throw in some Fire Breaths, kind of for the sake of it, more than anything. It's not being that helpful to us, actually. The stuns are great, though. The stuns are really good. Now, that one's going to miss, unfortunately, but that's okay. And that should do quite a decent amount of damage. We'll lay down some of our stun lines here. There's Leoric. Hi, Leoric. See if we can maybe pressure her off a little bit. These stuns, we can cast them every 6 seconds now. Look at that. That CC really doing work for us, I would say, on the whole. Good stun on Tracer. The Fire Breath starting to melt her down, but our armor is disappearing at a rapid pace. Luckily, these stuns are very fast and furious to cast at this point. You can throw down some of these slowing circles. Bear in mind, I have no real way to escape. If they want to run me down, they kind of can. This stun is doing good job. Good work peeling for us, though, which I think is quite important. Again, more stuns. Lock them down again. We're still on the run. We're on the run. Okay, we escaped. That's good. We can take to the skies and regenerate our armor plates. This is a pretty intense game so far. We have a nice little XP lead for ourselves, though. Again, we'll focus more on this afterwards. Hitting with our landing makes their damage reduce and slows them. That seems pretty dope, actually, considering how I'm playing it. So we'll kind of probably go with that. We're kind of winging our talent build a little bit. Let's take a level 20. At least I can cover that in advance. We just fly around the sky for a while. Still in the fire. Heroes are slowed by 40% in the Scorched Ground, and the duration is increased by 50%. That's amazing, I think, on this map. Arrival of a God. Our landing damage increased by 400%. So from, well, it's actually not that much. From 900 damage, I guess it would be about 500. And then we get all of our level 7 talents. So like the Skyfall, dropping meteors, Firestorm, dropping, well, more meteors. Lots of meteors, in other words. Or Destroyer's Rampage. After landing in Destroyer form. I think we'll go for Stood in the Fire this game. Nice. We're gonna just Cataclysm on these dudes. That was a bad direction I chose right there. I expected they might walk further away than they did. Luckily, a fort went down, so we actually got our Cataclysm cooldown back. We could go in again if we so desired, which could be insanely good. He's trying to attack us. We're going to melee him a few times, because that's how we roll. Alexstrasza in trouble here. Not quite going to die, but going to go low. Tracer gets stunned and is forced to back off. That works for us pretty nicely, actually. And let's just regenerate some energy at this point here. Take that, Leoric. Haha, we get healed from that, though we are missing 1 armor plate. I don't know if I covered it, but each armor plate does give you 10 armor. So, you know, it's pretty good, in other words. But yeah, we actually have Cataclysm back. The reason we did, again, was the top fort died to a split push during that particular fight. It was pretty sick for us, actually. Pretty great. All right, here we go. It might have been a good idea. For example, we get this Draconic Might. When we lose an armor plate, we become protected for 0.75 seconds. That might have been a good choice against the enemy team's composition, where they can focus us down with the bigger they are. It would have protected us from that initial burst, at least somewhat. Okay, you can see the little experience globes here. They're quite a small change, to be honest. I'm gonna fly up in the air. I might just dive them here. He doesn't have a global, but Brightwing does if we want to dive on these guys, and I kind of do. I kind of think it's good. Once we see them. You tried it! Bigger they are me! The Cataclysm's here, boys. Slowing circles in. Big, huge plays by the team. Insane. Really well done, guys. The Auric has arrived, but is it too little too late? We're going to breathe some fire on him. It didn't really do much, but there you go. I love this Cataclysm talent, though. It feels like it does so much damage when it actually works. And I like this E ability. Spamming stuns. Quite nice. Kerrigan is soloing the objective. Fair play to her. You see our siege damage here? It's not that significant, but it's there. He wants to bigger they are me. You can see it in his eyes. In his flinty little Terran eyes. A more wretched hive of scum and villainy there has never been. Okay. Are you ready for this? We need him to destroy the keep. I'm ready to dive in. When that keep dies, we reset Cataclysm. Actually, you know what? We're just going in on this right now. Are we? Yeah, we are. So I don't even care. Okay, we're going in again, boys. Here we go. Alright, nice. Yeah, let's get this. Though it's unlikely that another one's gonna die. We might just end up going 4. This might end up being a bad choice. We'll see. Slow him down if possible. Breathe on him! Yeah, let's go. So we're actually not gonna get to use Stood in the Fire. I thought it'd be amazing for this game, though. GG's. Well played, everyone. Awesome first game. There's Deathwing. Let me cover the talents for you guys properly, because I don't think I did a very good job there. Trying to hit Tracer's Deathwing is like swatting a mosquito. Yeah, that's actually that's a good analogy. We did hit her a few times as well. In terms of the overall stats, we did okay. I'd say that hero damage, I mean, it's not very good, let's be honest. That's pretty bad for me to pull in terms of stats. I would say that the Tychus, you know, bigger they are, that was pretty brutal. And a Leoric, that was a little tough to play against as the Deathwing. I'm curious how much damage we could do if we weren't hardcore counterpicked by 2 of the damage dealers there. But it's still okay. And that was with this particular build. So Dragon Soul, to recap these, and then I'll show you the other talents. And then we'll go play some more games on the stream. Incinerate heals Deathwing for 75% of the damage dealt to heroes. That's the AoE explosion in Destroyer form. World Breaker, Lava Burst explosion damage heals you for 150% of the damage dealt to heroes. That's our little AoE circle we put down with our W in World Breaker form. That, I don't know. It's hard to say how good that was. This is on PTR, yeah. Then we took Heatwave in Destroyer form, the Incinerate. We basically took most of the talents that improved those abilities, kinda. Incinerate, after hitting an enemy hero with Incinerate, you do AoE damage per second for the next 8 seconds. It stacks up to 4 times. So you're gonna spam that out and build it up. World Breaker, increase the explosion damage of Lava Burst. That was kind of a nice little synergy there. Makes the explosion damage do a lot more, and we heal for the damage dealt. That's kind of semi-reliable healing, though the range on it's kind of short and has a big cast time. We went for Death Drop, which actually was great. I thought the Death Drop went super well with this one here, because we could drop down, we could drop the E stun, and then the W big slow, the explosion damage, And then we could follow up with like a second Earth Shatter pretty quickly. I thought it was kind of nice. Burn Beneath My Shadow I think is actually great. Reset the cooldown of Cataclysm when you destroy a fort or keep. Really good at one of these pushing objectives. And it makes the periodic damage do 150% more, which is a lot. It's very noticeable, I think, when they stand in it. Death Drop, sorry, also reduces hero spell armor of people that we hit, which is alright. We took Ruination. The Bite from Onslaught slows for 60% for 1.5 seconds. We didn't really use that. However, what we did use a lot was the World Breaker effect, halving the cooldown of Earth Shatter, and the energy cost getting lowered a lot as well. I thought that was really strong. You could see how much I was casting that E. Then Gaze Unto Destruction, hitting heroes with Destroyer or the landing, either landing, causes their damage to be reduced by 75% and slows them by 40% for 5 seconds. If you can hit people with that, that's amazing. And then Stood in the Fire, which we never got to use, but it slows by 40% standing in the scorched ground and increases the duration. Obviously, if the damage is doing 150% more ticking, they're slowed in it, it's lasting longer. That's a phenomenal zoning tool. You could potentially like jump in beneath a keep or a fort as it's about to die and then cast it a second time. It's kind of crazy. So there you go. Let's check a look at his other talents real fast here. One second. Earth Shatter's 12-second cooldown. Yeah. And it's 25 energy, so it gets reduced to 15 with that level 16. Okay, his level 1s, let's go through them real fast. We saw Dragon Soul. Another option is Molten Blood. With 3 or more armor plates, you heal for 0.4% maximum health per second. I think that maybe got slightly nerfed. I think it's still actually really strong. Draconic Might. This got an extra effect, which is your basic attacks against enemy heroes heal you for 40% of damage dealt, which is pretty big. And when you lose an armor plate, you become protected for 0.75 seconds, so really enabling a melee diving type Deathwing. At level 4, Infernus, when Molten Flame is cast at 75% energy or higher, its damage is increased by 75% against heroes. I believe when I showed you this at BlizzCon, it was 100% energy and 100% increased damage dealt. So that's got slightly tweaked. It's easier to use, but it doesn't do as much bonus damage. Heatwave is what we took. Dragon's Ire. While Deathwing has 3 or fewer armor plates, his damage is increased by 30%, and I think that's very strong. That's going to be a high uptime buff. We took Death Drop. The other options here are Firestorm. When Deathwing lands, drop 7 meteors near the landing area, doing some damage to enemies hit. Heroes hit by the meteors reduce Dragonflight's cooldown by 12 seconds. So if you hit 3 heroes, it's down to a 9-second cooldown. If you hit 4, it's just back, I suppose. And they prioritize landing on heroes, otherwise they're random. Skyfall Charge, 3 charges, 10-second cooldown. After using Dragonflight, you can drop meteors anywhere within vision, doing a little bit of damage. And if you hit a hero, it heals you for 5% max HP, reduces your landing cooldowns by 1.5 seconds. So I suppose if you hit all 3 of those meteors, you can land and cast stuff immediately, which is kind of cool. Level 10, we already covered those in the game, but Burn Beneath My Shadow I think is really good. Bellowing Roar is obviously great. I found it's very short range, so that's a concern. I kind of just like that from what I've played with him so far. Maybe they changed the range though, I'm not entirely sure. Level 13, Wicked Inferno. Molten Flame's energy cost per second reduced by 10, so from 30 per second to 20 per second. After using Molten Flame, you gain 15 energy over 3 seconds. Ruination is what we took. Then there's Fire and Fury. Basic attacks against rooted, slowed, or stunned enemy heroes do 30% additional damage and reduce the cooldowns of Deathwing's basic abilities by 0.5 seconds. And then at level 16, Conflagration, doing 320 damage with Molten Flame to enemy heroes within 4 seconds, causes them to burn for an additional 100 damage over 4 seconds. While burning, they explode every 1 second, doing 80 damage to all nearby enemies. So lots of damage. You have to do 320 damage. Now it's just with your Q. This used to be with all of his spells, I think, apart from his heroic. Now it's just his Q. So this does 21 damage every, oh my lord, 1.25 seconds. Bloody hell. So maybe does 160 damage per second. So you have to hit them for 2 seconds of the fire breath to trigger Conflagration, I think. Okay, we took this in the game. Then Elementium Plating, 60-second cooldown. Activate to gain a shield equal to 35% of your missing health for 8 seconds. While the shield holds, regenerate 2% of your max health per second, so up to 16%. Possibly at maximum. When the shield expires or is destroyed, you regain armor plates appropriate for your new health, and the shield effect ends immediately if you use Dragon Flight. And then Stood in the Fire we took, but we didn't get to see, unfortunately. Arrival of a God. The landing damage increased by 400%, and you gain all of your level 7 talents. And then Destroyer's Rampage. For 6 seconds after landing in Destroyer form, your damage is increased by 40%, your basic abilities recharge 50% faster, and damaging heroes refreshes this effect. And switching then into sort of more ranged caster form removes the effect. So that's kind of insane. I want to do a melee build if possible. Let's get a custom game up here, guys, and let's give it another bash, shall we? Let's go. What map do we want to do? Let's do Dragonshire, seeing as we're a dragon. Amazing.